Today I'm going to share with you my progress towards my goals for the year 2019. It's May 1st, 2019, so we are a third of the way through this year, and today I'm going to give you an update on how I'm doing in accomplishing the goals that I set out for this year. So my intent of doing this year was, one, to share with you my experience, but two, also to let you know that you don't need to be perfect in everything that you do in order to accomplish your goals, that persistence and just not quitting and striving to do one thing every day, and even when you're not perfect with that, it's still amazing how much can be accomplished in 1 year. So we're a third of the way into this year. By May 1st, today, the first goal was to have a wilderness program up and running. Well, that hasn't happened. And I can give a lot of excuses as to why that didn't happen, but the truth is it just didn't happen. And in life, though, that's the way things go. So when we set goals, we want to set a time frame of when we want to accomplish them by, but we really don't have control over whether or not that will happen. We just have control over what we can do. And oftentimes there are things that happen outside of our control. There's a book by Grant Cardone called The 10X Rule. And in that book, he talks about how in life, everything tends to take 10 times longer than we expect it will take, to cost 10 times more than we expect it to cost, to require 10 times more effort than we expected it would take. So if in life we just plan on doing 10 times more than what we think we're going to need to do in order to accomplish what we're going to do, then we'll accomplish it. If we believe that all we need to do is the minimum amount to accomplish it, it's probably not going to happen, and it's going to take longer and cost more. So anyway, that's what I'm experiencing with my goals for this year. So I had in my mind at the beginning of the year how this was going to play out to have the wilderness program up and running. But things outside of my control happened. The main thing was that the two people that wanted to start and run the wilderness program decided that they didn't want to do that any longer. And so part of it now is finding another person who has a passion and an interest and wants to do that. And why we're looking to find that person, then trying to get other things in place so that that person can come in and do what they need to do. There's part of me that has had thoughts as this happened that, you know what, maybe we should let this goal go, because one of the main reasons I was doing it was because this was what we thought part of the sole purpose of those individuals. And they work for us in another capacity. And I always try to find ways to allow people to use their interests in their job. And so this was a good match. Well, things changed, but having a wilderness program will still benefit us. And so that goal is still on the table, and I believe that we will still accomplish it. It's just not going to happen in the time that I expect or hope that it would happen. The other thing that has happened over this past month, and again, this is something that will always happen, is that any time that we set a goal or we create a timetable or an objective of what we want to accomplish and when it's going to happen, there are things that are going to come up in life. And in this past month, there's been a whole lot of things that have come up in my life personally and with my family. There have been things that have come up financially, and all of those things are distractions that take the focus off of, because these are things that need to be attended to, and so they need to be taken care of, and then it takes my focus off of the long-term objective. So I'm going to just demonstrate to you with these things on this table of kind of the way that life works and what we need to do if we really want to accomplish our goals. So if this coaster right here was to represent me or to represent you, and then this book right here represents my goal that I want to accomplish. So that's a pretty big goal, and I'm pretty excited about achieving that goal. And in life, there are obstacles. Actually, I'm going to turn this around. So this now is me. This is the obstacles that come in life. So this obstacle is bigger than me, but I can still see past the obstacle and I can see my goal. And the goal is still bigger than the obstacle. As long as that's the situation, as long as my goal is bigger than the obstacle, then I'm going to do whatever it takes to get through the obstacle to get to the goal. But if it gets reversed to where the book now becomes the obstacle and this coaster is my goal, now all I can see is the obstacle and I can't even see my goal any longer. And when that happens, then there is the possibility that my goal will fade and I won't be willing to go through all of the work that it's going to take, because the effort is much greater than the reward. And so there's a couple of things that we can do in order to keep it like this. And the first is we need to keep building our goal or our dream and building our belief in the ability to accomplish that. And the way that we do that is by surrounding ourselves with people who also believe in our dream. So again, going to the mastermind principle, but also having our dreams in front of us. So this is where tools like a vision board can come in handy, where I have a picture or a statement of whatever it is that I'm trying to accomplish in front of me, and I see it every day and I review it every day. And then the other thing is making sure that we are doing something. Doesn't even have to be anything major, but something, some little thing every day moving us in the direction of our goal. Because as we're moving closer, our belief is going to stay strong and stay high. But when we stop doing things, and sometimes we do that because these obstacles show up in our life, and so I don't have time to do my daily action steps. I have other things that I need to take care of. When that happens, this begins to get smaller, and whatever we focus on tends to magnify or to grow. So if I start focusing on the obstacles and I take my eye off of the goal, my obstacle will begin to increase and to enlarge, and this will begin to get smaller. So I need to do things to keep the desire for this strong, my belief strong. I need to make sure that I'm taking action steps. I'm doing something every day, moving me closer in the direction of my goal. If I do that, then these will stay in the correct proportion, and I'll be willing to do whatever I need to do to overcome the obstacles in order to achieve the goal. And so for me this past week, I have to report that I have not done very well, but I am still focused on my goals, and I have been striving to do something every day, moving me in the direction, and I've done a pretty good job with that. So I'm excited to continue to learn from my experience and to apply what I'm learning, and I expect to give a progress report next month with better news or more progress towards the achievement of my goal. Here's the other thing too. Sometimes it's easy to get discouraged as we are moving along towards our goal, but as long as our minds are open and as long as we're paying attention, everything that happens is an opportunity to learn, and we can take whatever it is that we're learning and then begin to apply it that can help us move forward. So I'm continuing to learn. I'm continuing to stay positive and optimistic about my goals for this year, and I look forward to reporting to you again next month. Thank you.